Hi, I'm Anthony Cooperwood. I'm a musician, a performer, and a music educator. I have the benefit of being on lots of stages all over the world. I've done a lot of theater. I've done a lot of professional gigs where I've worked in television. I've worked on some soundtracks, and I've worked with singers and bands and big gigs and little gigs and all gigs in between. For quite a while I was on the road with Cirque du Soleil for about 8 years. I was their backup conductor for the Drawlian production. I had the benefit of learning from fellow musicians and being in various situations where we had to perform a lot of live music in sequence that didn't actually sound live. So we were playing and we were moving between musical scenes during the show or whatever it was we were doing, and the music was changing along with the action on stage, and the audience never knew that they were listening to a live band until at the end when we actually went up on stage. My friends over at Korg sent me a Nautilus Music Workstation. First of all, I have to say, wow, what a keyboard. They wanted me to give my opinion on how I could actually use it and what my, how I felt about getting around on the board and kind of like, giving my opinion. I have to say, first of all, wow, indeed, it truly is a great keyboard. First of all, it's not only a keyboard. It's primarily exactly what it says it is. It's a workstation. You can do lots of things with this keyboard. You can score movies, you can score television, you can write a song, you can just play a song. The favorite feature that I really enjoyed using was the setlist feature. As I mentioned before, when I was on the road and on stage, we have to move between scenes effortlessly, flawlessly, easily. The setlist feature in the workstation allows you to do that. You can pre-program exactly what you would do on a set list. On any given night, you might do, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 songs, whatever. And you might set up your set list and write down exactly, I'm going to do this song, this song, this song, this song, this song. And then you'd actually go through and you'd look at your set list and see what you were doing, and then you do the next song. In the keyboard, you're able to actually do that with the patches. If you're a trumpet player, you can just play the songs and it's no big deal. If you're a keyboard player, not a piano player, but a keyboard player, and on the Bob Marley song, you've got to do a reggae bubble on the organ. On the Mr. Magic song next, you've got to use a Fender Rhodes with a string pad. And then on the next song, you've got to use some horns, and you've got to split your keyboard into 4 different zones, and you've got to have different instruments happening in each one of those zones. You might need to take all that time to set all of that up in between the songs, or you can use the set list feature to set all that stuff up at home in your studio. Spend the hours or minutes if you're really quick, but I'm not really quick. It takes me time. I can set all of that stuff up in my studio at home and then go to the gig and have all this stuff saved in the keyboard, and then just at the push of a button, boom, I'm set for the next song. That's the set list. So first you're starting with about 16 different presets on the screen, and that's adjustable. You can have like 8 or 12 or 16. And you can actually program songs into those slots. The songs are actually patch names or combination names as you choose. You can even program sequences in them. You can actually start and stop live clips. Oh, live, I mean recorded clips that you've already stored into the keyboard, into the set list, into the programmed slots. And then just at the push of a button, you can actually operate that from your keyboard on the fly. So what I'd like to share with you today is how to actually set that up. We're going to take a look at the real estate of the touchpad of the set list feature. In addition, we're going to label them. We're going to look at the different capabilities of this set list, of the touchpad, what you can actually program in the information. After that, we're going to look at how to actually write the information to save everything that you've done. It's not going to take very long. It's a very easy process. We're going to explore a little bit of the keyboard while we do it. And at the end, you'll be able to program all of your songs. So you can go to from Bob Marley to Grover Washington to Celine Dion or to Michael Jackson, all song after song after song after song, easily on your keyboard. So we're going to talk about how to set that up today. So please sit back. If you have questions or comments, please let them fly down in the comment section below. Also, please visit me at AbaCodaMusic.com for more videos like this and other things that I have going on. So please sit back, enjoy, and hopefully we'll all learn something. The first thing that you're going to have to do is go to the set list mode. In order to do that, all you have to do is go up here in the upper right hand corner and then click on mode. And then you have choices of set list, program, combination, sequencer, sampling, global, and media. Select set list and it should take you to this page right here. This is the preloaded set list that the Nautilus opens when it turns on in the very first place. We want to do a new set list, so we're going to have to change the preload set list to a different number. So to do that, we go in the upper left hand corner. Oh, but before we do that, take a look at what's going on here. You have different choices of instruments that you can use. You can use whatever, this program right here, program number 2, well, 1 because the first one is 0, 2, 3, that's some sort of EP, the same EP, something else, something else, something else, something else, and so on and so forth. And you can see that they're even in different colors, so you can color code them. Well, we're going to do all of that in just a moment. But first we have to start with a brand new list. So first we're going to start right here in the upper left hand corner, and then select a new place to start. So we're going to start here in set list number 3. And we click on OK. Now as you can see, we have the Nautilus Grand in slot number 0, in slot number 1, Nautilus Grand, slot number 2, Nautilus Grand. These are all going to say Nautilus Grand. This is only waiting for new information. We're going to change all of that. The first thing that we need to do, let's say that we do want a piano of some sort, but we don't want this piano. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to click into the edit mode first. So in order to get to the edit mode, we go up here to the upper right hand corner again. We click, and then we go down to page. First we used mode to change into the set list mode. This time we're going to choose page because we're going to get into a different page of this set list mode. And then you see we have set list and edit. And you see set list is in the little house there, means that this is actually the program for performing. So right here we're going to click on edit. And then this brings us to all of the internal information for these buttons. So we're going to change this information. So just take a look at the real estate that we're dealing with first of all. Here we have program up here in the left hand corner. This allows us to use either a program, a combination, or to program a song that we've done in the sequencer. Okay, going to take that back to program. Next, you see the name of the program that we're going to use, and this allows us to choose whichever program name that we want to. We can just go through them one at a time if we wish, or we can click on the arrow beside, and that's going to give us a grand look at all of the various programs, and we can get through to the program of our choice in a very fast manner. Okay. Beside that, you see the slot name. This allows us to actually put a name into the slot. So we can use the word example, example. And then this could be the name of the slot. As you can see, we've changed the name of the slot to example. Very easy. Down here you can see the slot number of where it is. This is slot number 0. You see the volume. We have some sort of a mini EQ, a mini volume level list, if you will. This one is 127, so this is going to play at full volume. But if you wanted to have some of your programs come in at a different volume, this would be how you would change that. Then we have the hold time. We won't go into that for right now because this isn't going to be one of those type of situations. This is just programs for right now. But in the future, if you'd like to have something play, and it would actually play for 5 seconds, but it would involve holding down the key for 5 seconds, you can automatically program that in this mode. Here you can choose the color of whatever you want that button to be, and here's your choice of colors. And then right here you have the edit comment. And under edit comment allows us to write down little things that we would like to remember for whatever patch or whatever song that we want to have. Perhaps you want to say something to the effect of, I'd like to use the mod wheel for this patch, or just remind yourself that when you're using this patch in a show you may have to use the bender, or something like that. And then of course you can choose the font. You can transpose it to whichever transposition you would like to do, plus or minus 1, 2, or 3, up to I think 24 and beyond. And then of course the dynamics and the 0. So we're going to go ahead and program a different type of piano. So we're going to click on program. It is a program that we're using. We're not using a combination. And then we're going to go over here and choose our piano. Click on the arrow. There we go. And then we can see small grand piano, bright Italian grand. Let's just choose one. Let's just choose the concert grand. There. There. Now we have the concert grand in there. But remember, we changed the name earlier to the slot name to example, so you're not going to see it right here. But you do see it right here. A004 concert grand dry. AMB for ambience. Over here you can see the slot name. Now we want to actually put a name to this slot. So what we're going to do is we're going to clear that, and we're going to put ACOUSTIC, acoustic piano. Now we click OK, and there, now you have an acoustic piano. So whenever you need an acoustic piano during the evening, you can go right back to this slot and press on 0, and you'll have the piano that you already chose. Now let's say that we want to use an electric piano in the gig. Okay, so we go over here, we choose a new slot because this one has already been done, and we want to go to another one. So we're going to go ahead and do everything that we did the first time. We're going to go ahead and click on our choice of instruments. This time we're playing a keyboard. It's not a piano, it's a keyboard. So we click on keyboard, and then you see all of the different choices of EPs available. There's George Duke's EP, there's a Herbie Hancock EP in here. There's all kinds of EPs to choose from. So we're going to go ahead and choose the Herbie's Butterfly electric piano. We're going to click on OK. And then that's going to be in our second slot. And as you can see, this time it does say the name of the patch, Herbie's Butterfly EP. But once again, perhaps that's a little bit too much information to read on the fly when you're doing the job. So we can change that. We come up to slot name, and we can just call this electric piano. Click on OK, and there's our electric piano. Now something else we can use on the gig is something, let's say an organ of sorts. Okay, so we go right back up here. Again, we don't have to touch program because this is indeed a program. So we're going to click on our envelope again. There we go. And then we go down to organs. Okay, and then we're just going to choose a percussion organ of sorts. As you can see, you have various organs to choose from, and then you can even go over here and see other types. There's a classic organ there, full organ, a whiter shade of organ, and then there we go. Okay, and then we can click on OK, and now we have some form of organ. There you go. It says Perc Organ 1 SW1, and that SW1 is probably going to activate the Leslie. That's going to be in the switch. You've got two switches on the left side, and that's going to be one of them. So, but once again,
a little too much information to read on the fly during the gig, so I'm going to go ahead and change the name of this one. I'm going to call it Slot Organ. Okay, now we've got, and this can go on and on as we go through all of them. Let's choose something different. Let's go ahead and choose one of our combinations, because let's say that we want to have a piano and strings, or an EP and strings. These are things that you would set up in combination mode, and we can go into that in the future. Now granted, there are patches that already have piano or organ or EPs plus strings already, but let's say that you wanted to do your own zones and put them in different places across the keyboard. And we can talk about zones a little bit in a separate video. But in this case, we're going to go to combination mode. So we've been using program. This time we're going to go ahead and change that. We're going to go to combination. And I just press the plus sign on the side. Now the first thing we want to do is choose a different slot first. There we go. Then now we're going to go ahead and go to combination. Now I've already done some combinations already, but we can see, there we go. And there we have different combinations that we can use. Okay. And so, just as an example, here's one right here, WS layer keys, and this is going to have various sounds in it. Yep, this is the piano with some form of a wave going with it. Okay, so we can go ahead and press OK. And that's going to be fine, and this is going to be one of our combinations. And as you can see at the bottom of the slots, you can see that they're written PRG, which is short for program. And on this one, you see CMB, which is short for combination. And this is CMB Bank D, patch number 001. And then your patches will appear there just the same in the banks that are different, that are available. Okay, so now we've done this. Now, what we can do is we could actually copy, cut, and paste all of these into different parts of the set list. So let's say that on this page we have 15 to choose from. If you page over, you'll see 16 to 31. That allows us to do 31, 47, 63, 79, 95, 127, all the way to 127 different patches. Sorry, not patches, but 127 different patch changes throughout the show. And that could be what you have in your show if you have to have that many changes. It's a big show. But anyway, let's say that we want some of these same patches to appear on future slots in other places throughout the set list choices. We can copy these. So let's take a look at this one right here, acoustic piano. We can go ahead and copy this one and then paste it someplace else. But before we do that, let's change the color of it. So I like red, so we're going to go with a nice burgundy for that one. There. Now there's my acoustic piano, and I'm going to go ahead and copy that one. That means that wherever empty slot that I press on, I'm going to go ahead and paste that same patch in other places. So let's say that I did want to put that somewhere around 110 or something like that. Then I could just go ahead and paste that into place over in slot 110. That way when I'm going through my show, eventually I'm going to come back to that one. Okay? That way I don't have to page all the way over just to find my acoustic piano. Okay, so now that we've done that one, let's do a couple more. Let's do electric piano is now going to be blue. And our organ is going to be, how about yellow? Or actually gold. There we go. And then we can do our layered keys. Our layered keys are going to be what color? How about lavender? There you go. Okay, so we've had 4 colors here, and then we can actually just put those anywhere we want to. So I'm going to go ahead and copy my electric piano. I'm going to put that here. And I'm going to put my layered keys. I'm going to copy that. And I can put that on the next page. Let's put it right there in slot. So this way, whenever I'm changing patches throughout my set list, I will eventually see the most important patches that I'm going to use within a given night. This way, if I need something on the fly, boom, I can just press the keys as fast as I can, and I can press the slot key and go ahead and have exactly the patch that I need. That's simple. Okay, now that you've done all the work to go ahead and set up your set list, and all you have to do now is you have to save what you've done. If you turn the keyboard off at this point, you will lose everything. And just as a word of advice, save and save often. Absolutely when you're editing. If ever you make an edit to a patch, immediately write that in. So right now we've edited this, and now we're going to change. Let's go ahead, and if you look in the menu, you'll see that it's still called 003 set list 003. So let's put a name on it. So in order to name it, it's part of the writing process. We come up to the upper right hand corner once again, and then we click on Write Set List, because now we want to write it so that it stays in the keyboard, and then you're given a choice to give it a name. So right here we click on our slot there, and then we go ahead and clear this, and we're going to call this Example Set List. E-X-A-M-P-L-E. Let's say Example Awesome Set List. There it is. And then click OK. And now it's called 003, and it's called Example Awesome Set List. And we can choose where we want that set list to appear. We can put it here in the slot for 003, or if you click on there, you can see that we can put it in other places. We could put it in slot number 16, slot number 7, slot number 19, and so on and so forth. We can choose wherever we want it to be. But in this case, we do want it to appear in 003, so we will select 003. Click on OK. And if I click on OK here, are you sure? Absolutely. And it's writing it in right now. And there it is. Now you can see up here the name has changed to 003 Example Awesome Set List. So this is our awesome set list, and it's saved in slot number 3. As you can see, 0, 1, 2, 3, and there's our awesome set list. And there we go. And then we have our different colors. And then, like I say, as we're playing through the night, we can go ahead and change and see our options coming up in other places. Now let's take a look at a practical setting. How could I actually use this? Well, I actually used this on a gig not too long ago. The guy's name was Orville, so I went ahead and called this Orville's gig. And as you can see, you have different set lists, and you can have you'll have a lot of set lists when you're using this. So for this one, I need Orville's gig, and so I press on OK, and as you can see, I've already done some of the programs for this one. Now under this gig, instead of putting the instrument names, I put the song names and the set list that we actually did for the evening. This allowed me to go ahead and have access to the set list, so I didn't have to read one on the side, and I always knew what song was coming up. And it also allowed me to have my changes already programmed into the keyboard. When I did the gig, all I had to do was go to the next song, and the next song, and the next song, and the next song. There's Mr. Magic, there's my Rhodes and my strings, and then here's my Rhodes and strings layer, and then we did Desafinato, and so on and so forth, and so on. So there's How Insensitive with just, in this show we started with a pad. Then these are all the same color because I chose this color for the first set. For the second set, I changed the color to gold, and then we hear all of the songs that were in the second set. Set number 3 got red, and set number 4 got lavender. And then we had some extras that were left over. So on this gig, there were about 39, maybe 40 songs of it, that we had to play. One of the advantages for doing this is I was able to actually sub as the leader on the job when the bass player wasn't there. So the first time I learned where the songs were, and the second time when we had a substitution bass player come in, I was able to call the songs based on the information that the bass player had already given me for all of the sets. So it's an extremely useful feature, having the set list available to you. And that's about it.